Hello, friends. I welcome you to this session. Today, we have a very special guest, somebody who's been into movies. He's an IIM graduate and is doing fantastically well in his profession as well. So, we're going to discuss a slightly different topic today. And what does it take to be successful in a different field than what most people are in? So let me just get the gentleman online and let's have this conversation.
Hi Vikas, how are you?
Hello, Shree. How are you doing?
Top of the world, sir. Top of the world. Fantastic. Thank you. How are you? How are you?
Perfect. So I was just telling the audience about you. So how did you decide to be into movies? Does somebody in your family, you have a lineage in your family? How did it happen?
Absolutely not, sir. So this is a question I get bumped upon very often. So very simple. Like every small child, I've always wanted to be a doctor, a fireman, a house husband, a pilot, a criminal, a police, everything. And then I realized I can't be everything at once. So the only way was to either become a writer, a director, or an actor. So I've chose to become all three. So this was the way I fulfilled my dreams. So
But
it's very different. I get to live, for example, your Vikas today, your Vikas 24 into 7 into 365 into n number of years, right? But I'm Varshan today, I'm Varshan tomorrow. But if a role demands me to be demands me to become Rahul, I have to be Rahul for the next 1 week or next 1 month, whatever. So that's a different kind of kick, right? So that's what I wanted, and that's why I pursued it right from start.
but you don't need any so-called godfathers in the industry for you to be able to get a chance. How does that happen?
So see, that's something I keep getting because the whole industry runs on nepotism, like every other industry, right? But the beauty is that the industry that I got into, the short film industry, is a unpenetrated industry. People do not know about that industry very much. The silver screen, the movies are they have the limelight, but short films do not have the limelight. So I thought, why not penetrate into a virgin market? Right. So that's exactly how I chose the short film. And people told me, why don't you join theaters? But that is not my kind of a thing. Short film, movies, web series is where my thing, and that's why I chose it. And I didn't need any lineages. I've done 40 plus short films as a lead actor, as a protagonist, right, without any background. And I'm continuing to do so. Depending, if I have any scripts that impress me, I'm definitely doing them. So, yes, so that answers your question.
Very nice. But I believe the caliber required would be the same, be that a short film or a full film. The caliber required to work in that role, that's the same. So what does it really take to be a successful movie artist? What does it take?
So you will have to be very persistent, right? You'll have to forget the fear of rejection, right, and be persistent. It's just two, because everywhere you go, people are going to say, "Shakal dekho aapka," right? They are going to say, because the whole industry has this beauty, quote running on it. So the industry is again linked to the beauty industry, right? So people think that you need to look good in order to be in the industry. So you need to remove that stereotype from your mind first. Only then people be able to accept you. So it's the fear of rejection that needs to go first, and second is persistence. If one movie drops, you need to get your foot, back. You need to be back on your foot and keep running again. So these two primarily, and apart from that, yes. For example, when I'm in front of a camera, I'll have to remember the character I'm in. I'll have to remember dialogues. I'll have to remember the lights. I have to make sure that I do not look at any of the cameras, right? And also give space to my co-actor. So it's not that I'll take the whole space. I have to give space to my co-actor to act. Only when there's a symbiotic relationship between the co-actors, the movie comes out well. So all these, on a whole, is what is very important for being
But
an
the
actor. But
qualities that
again,
you
sir,
spoke about,
right?
yeah, the
Sorry.
qualities that you spoke about, being persistent, and what was the second one? You spoke about fear, not to be
Losing the fear of rejection. Losing the fear of rejection. Right.
so
And
that too.
if I'm not wrong, sir, I was, when I first came across your profile, I was really impressed because you are an IIM grad, right? And then you have been doing fantastic in your career, but suddenly you decide to leave your corporate career and start to become a trainer, a speaker. So this is not something anyone, it's a very bold step. Right. So, what are the traits that takes to become a trainer, and why did you decide to become this? I was very interested to know this.
This is something version which did not happen overnight. There was a complete planning we went into this. So not
Right.
that I left my job one fine day and decided to get into the training industry. So a lot of preparation. And
Right.
one thing which I see in this industry, and which would hold true even for your industry, is I would say one major attribute is something to do with your passion.
Of course.
Version, there are no entry barriers to this industry.
Very true.
Anyone for that matter. I'm not trying to demean anyone, but anyone for that matter can enter this industry as on date. Like say as of
Right, sir.
tomorrow. So you can have new entrants coming to this industry. But it's your passion, whether you come into this industry because you didn't find anything else which was worthwhile,
Hmm.
or whether you actually wanted to be a part of this industry is what differentiates.
That's very, yeah, I understand.
There have been so many people over the last 3 years who came in and then left this industry in the next couple of months because I believe this
Right,
was not their calling, this was not their passion. But
right.
when
And
I did that, this was my passion, this is what I wanted to be. So the choice was very clear.
right, right. Then completely understandable, sir. And this is something I can relate as well, because every day we see people packing their bags and running out of, the film industry as well for a proper backup, right? But I myself chose a backup, and that's why MBA from an IIM, and I'm doing great. I'm heading the whole state of Tamil Nadu here for for Unicorn right now, and parallelly I'm also pursuing my passion. So I make sure I do not mix my passion and profession, and that's something I look up to people like you. It's quite an inspiration.
So one more thing, Varshan. Now that you've had a good stint in the short film industry, you've worked
Right,
in many films.
right.
So does that stint actually help you in your professional life now post IIM?
Very much, sir. Very, very much. To start off with, I know what people expect out of you, right? Because I come from an industry where people do not tell you anything. They do not feed, spoon feed you at all. Either you pick up yourself, either you learn everything by yourself overnight, or you're out, right? Because you have a movie tomorrow, you're on sets, and people say, "Sorry, there's a financial barrier here. We can't take the movie. Please go back home." Right? I can go back home, but what? How am I going to get my next movie? It's a very flamboyant movie in terms of money. No, I'm not saying no because per short film the pay I get is very high. Yes, all that is there. But how am I going to keep the show running? Right. So I learned all those things from that industry. I'll have to know how to please people here. In my, I learned it from there. Number two, I'll have to know how to judge people. This is something I've spoken about in another podcast too. I've learned how to judge people. Can I get my work done or not? Right. And the third and very most important thing is I know who to be where. I'm not Varshan everywhere. Right. I can't be Varshan everywhere. If I'm myself everywhere, I can't get the work done. So I know who
Right.
to be where. And these three things have been, these three are my takeaways from that industry to this industry, to the corporate life.
Perfect. So any message that you want to convey to your fellow colleagues, any of the other early 20s, mid 20s people who just might be listening to your work?
I'm, I'm,
So
I'm an early 20 as well. I'm 22 right now. I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest to be heading a state in my corporate right now.
So,
So.
any message that would you really be wanting to tell them that they should be pursuing something apart from their studies? Should they be really spending some time in the other extracurricular activities? What is the one message that you really want to give to
So
your fellow colleagues?
I would like to, for this one message, I would like to cycle back to what you said. You were talking about calling, right? Identifying your calling. And I really wish, I pray that people identify their calling very soon. And the sooner they identify their calling, the better for them, mentally and physically and financially, monetarily. So identify your calling and let the fun begin. This is all I have to say though.
Perfect, perfect. Varshan, so Varshan is hardly 22 and he's really talking like a very mature person. Very, very nice to listen to this from you, Varshan. I wish you all the best for your future
Thank you.
endeavors.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm sure we'll see more of you, both in your film work and in your professional work. We'll see you achieving more heights and more achievements, right?
Thank you. Thank you
So,
so much. Yeah. It's a complete pleasure being on the show with you. Right. Thank you so much for this. And I'm looking
thank
forward to attending
you.
one of your sessions also very soon.
Thank you. See you, Varshan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Thank you.